Long before the Nintendo Switch brought handheld gaming to your TV and console gaming to your lap, Nintendo was always interested in finding novel ways to combine its handheld and home console experiences. The first commercially released example of these experiments was the Super Game Boy, an accessory that let you play your Game Boy games on your TV at home. And while TVs at the time were not the 65-inch plus monstrosities we have today, it was certainly an upgrade from the completely unlit monochrome screen of the Game Boy. What's more, playing certain carts on your Super Game Boy unlocked new features such as custom borders, extra audio effects, and even limited color, 4 years before the Game Boy Color would bring full color to the handheld. The Super Game Boy was a great accessory, even more impressive because it featured real Game Boy hardware crammed into the size of an SNES cartridge. However, this video is not about the Super Game Boy. Today, we're talking about its lesser-known sequel, aptly named the Super Game Boy II. The Super Game Boy II was released in 1998 in Japan and unfortunately never found its way to North America. It features an attractive teal transparent design reminiscent of the Apple iMac that released the same year. There are two main advantages to this device over the original Super Game Boy. One is simply that it runs at the correct speed. The original Super Game Boy actually runs games 2.4% faster than an actual Game Boy, changing the flow and feel of timing-sensitive games. The Super Game Boy II corrects this. The second advantage was something added in response to the Pokémon craze, which had already taken Japan by storm with the release of Pokémon Red and Green in 1996. The Super Game Boy II features a link cable port, allowing you to connect to a Game Boy or even another Super Game Boy II to trade in battle. So while North America didn't get the Super Game Boy II in 1998, is there anything stopping us from using one today? Well, really the only thing in the way are two tiny plastic region locking tabs on the console, which can either be snipped or filed away. The Super Game Boy II even supports North American games. Unfortunately, since this device was released several months before the Game Boy Color, it doesn't support Game Boy Color exclusive games, but it's undoubtedly become my preferred way to play original Game Boy titles on a larger display. I hope you enjoyed today's quick video about the Super Game Boy II. If you'd like to see more retro gaming videos, including one on the setup showcased in this video, please subscribe to this channel and click the notification bell for future updates. Until next time.